Samantha Irvin gone from WWE kind of out of nowhere today. That she posted a message to X stating that she was moving on from the company and bidding everyone a farewell. Had a lot of compliments to the staff, to Triple H, to the fans, to everybody, and just like that, she was gone. She wasn't even part of Raw tonight. They brought in Lillian Garcia, and it was sort of just this abrupt, Samantha Irvin's moving on, and Lillian Garcia's here. It was a very strange story that certainly feels like it just kind of crept up out of nowhere. And yeah, you've got everybody. First of all, never doubt the online wrestling fan base that will just lose their minds over everything. I mean, just something else for this. But Ricochet denying that she is going to AEW, so that will either be true or not true. But yeah, this, you can certainly read this of two ways. One being that you would think, if she wants to stay in wrestling, there's one obvious option, and maybe she's looking at spreading her wings elsewhere. She's an extremely talented individual. She just did the national anthem at the Raiders game last Sunday, like on behalf of WWE, of course, with WrestleMania being at Allegiant Stadium. She was sent there with Rey Mysterio and I believe Braun Strowman. So, I mean, obviously, not breaking any news, like she was extremely popular in this role. And to me, in the couple of years that she did this, I mean, to me, made an indelible mark in terms of the role that she filled.
Certainly, yeah. I think you often hear people like maybe feel upset at some announcer leaving, or like a backstage correspondent leaving, or even a commentator leaving. I feel like the reaction to this one is bigger than usual, and I think so much of it is because she has been unanimously praised for somebody in this role. Not just that, I would say she has probably made the last person I feel like to garner that's this sort of thing is Renee. And what's similar about those two is that they've managed to take a role that's otherwise very generic, and they have made their own distinctive spin on it. In ways that have elevated that role, and
let's also couch the fact that these are also positions that were by design from the top down to be generic. I mean, when you read like Justin Roberts' book, or just hear from like some of the announcers that like Dasha Gonzalez when she was in that role, and it was like they did not want you kind of creating any sort of emotion or character behind you, and it's a very hard role to be able to establish that kind of connection with an audience with. And to your point, Renee did, and certainly Samantha Irvin did.
Yeah. I can understand why they wouldn't want all their announcers to be creative and to add their own spin on things, because oftentimes maybe it might not be that good. But it tells you something when, somebody like a Samantha Irvin has been able to find ways to actually somehow make her interesting announcements, unique announcements, great. And I think Lenny Hart is who comes to mind, like not that extreme at all, but at least introducing an element of that sort of, a Lenny Hart type of announcement to the WWE, which I never thought in a million years we'd be able to see. She was great at it. I think her enthusiasm always came across, in her, whenever they had a camera on her ringside. So somebody who I would have considered, probably would have had that job for as long as they wanted, or she wanted. And who knows what her next steps are. But I have to think they'd be good enough reasons for them for her not to continue.
Yeah, it just seemed like this was one, like this certainly did not have the feel of, that this was something that has been in the works for some time. And it just felt like a very abrupt shift, and like not even letting her come out and do like one final show, for instance, tonight. Like that felt it was a very awkward transition. Awkward for Lillian Garcia too, to just be kind of introduced in this way, and it was like a one-line explanation by Joe Tessitore that, if you were not online today and you just hear this, I mean, it is kind of, you might have even missed it. Like it was that brief and quick.
Yeah. So I mean, does it give you something to speculate about Like,
I mean, that's all it would be until we know more about what the circumstances were of it. But I certainly it does feel odd, the fact that, okay, so she's leaving. Like, what is so concerning about doing like a farewell broadcast, or at least working out like, what was it? Hey, I need to be done ASAP, or was it a case of, sometimes like WWE could be like, okay, you want out, you're done now. Like, we just don't know. We don't know yet what the conversation was like and why it felt like it was so fast that it was done. But obviously, she was extremely complimentary in her message that she put out today.
if you like this video, consider joining our Patreon, the Post Wrestling Cafe. Multiple bonus podcasts every week, ad-free shows, and access to our full archive. Otherwise, a like and subscribe is much appreciated. Thank you for watching.